Hello guys, Claudia Boleyn here. It's been a day full of videos. I've made so many videos today. I'm in a low place, so yeah. I'm just filling my time by making YouTube videos. So this video is a little bit about Sansa Stark. I made a video before called, I think it's called If You Hate Sansa Stark, Then You Are Wrong. I'm going to put it here. And actually, that gained a lot of views because Sophie Turner, who plays Sansa, spotted it and I think she promoted it on her Twitter. Thank you so much, Sophie. Yeah. Thank you for many things. Thank you for your portrayal of Sansa and just being a great human being. But yeah, so a lot of people watch that. And I watched Game of Thrones recently and I'm hoping you're up to speed. But Sansa got revenge on Ramsay in the latest episode of Game of Thrones. Now, people this series are suddenly, and it's satisfying, it's also annoying. I feel like a hipster. I feel like I'm one of those people that's like, I liked Sansa before it was cool. I feel like I have this ownership. And it's so it's not true at all, but I feel protective of Sansa. Because when she was a young teenager, when she was in King's Landing getting abused and treated awfully, and she's just a little girl really, who's making mistakes like lots of us do, and lots of us have done, people hated her. They were grown adults that hated Sansa for no reason other than the fact she was a teenage girl that made decisions that a lot of teenage girls would do. There was no malice to Sansa. Yeah, she was a bit mean to her little sister, but big sisters can be like that to their little sisters. She was a survivor, and I've always personally seen a lot of smarts to Sansa in the way she survived in King's Landing. I think there's a lot of characters in Game of Thrones that don't have that adaptability that Sansa does. She's very bright. I think you can definitely say that. And now all of a sudden people are swarming to Sansa. People are saying, oh, she's so badass and she's so cool. And that's correct, she is. But I just want to say that she's always been badass and cool. And I think I don't like the fact that a female character is only liked when after she's been broken and become stronger, in a way. Obviously I was very upset by that Sansa storyline, but I feel like, yes, it is a triumph for Sansa that she's got the power now. And it's very empowering, I must say, for a lot of people, but especially young women who've been hurt or abused, to see Sansa living, to see her surviving, and to see her having the last word. I think that's very satisfying. But I do think that I don't like this idea that suddenly Sansa's cool and suddenly Sansa's coming into her own. Because yes, she is. She's forming her identity and she's becoming a woman, and it's wonderful to watch. But I feel like I don't like the fact people think she was weak before. Sansa was not weak before. She was not a weak person. She was a strong person. But she is a representation, I've always thought, of a real medieval woman. I know that Game of Thrones is fantasy, but it's kind of like medieval fantasy, isn't it? A lot of it's very medievally. And I think Sansa represents a lot of those strong women from our history, which we admire. And I think a lot of people forget, because you've got Dany with her dragons, and Arya, who's learning to be an assassin, and, they're so cool. But Sansa is a realistic interpretation of what a medieval woman, a strong, intelligent, political medieval woman would have to endure. Yes, she doesn't have that agency. But I don't think it's not her fault. People act like she's not a strong female character, or she wasn't because she didn't have that agency. Newsflash, women in the medieval era did not have that agency. Sansa is amazing. She navigated like an absolute expert. She navigated that court. She's playing the game. She has survived. So yeah, this is just me saying, yet again, if you hate Sansa Stark, you're wrong. If you hated her in the start, you're also wrong, because she's a wonderful character. I'm so pleased with the way her character's gone, but I wish people would also appreciate the character she was in the past, because for a lot of us, it's such an empowering story to watch her whole story progress. And she's been strong all along. It's always been in her. She's just finally come into her time. She's becoming a woman now. But yeah, I just don't like it that people think the women in Game of Thrones are only strong once they've, I don't know, made a kill or something. And although Sansa's kill was gory and horrible to watch, but satisfying on a level that you feel like Sansa can be at peace in a way, or at least you see her get some closure, I guess. I just think she's always been a great character, wonderfully portrayed by Sophie Turner throughout, and I wish people would appreciate some of those more feminine characters that are stuck in those oppressive situations and are finding it hard to get out of those, because Sansa's not a fighter with her fists or anything. She's got to use her smarts, as medieval women often did. So personally, Sansa's my favourite Game of Thrones character, putting that out there, and I just want happiness for her now. I don't actually care who sits on the Iron Throne. I just want Sansa to be happy, basically. That's the goal at the end of all this. Okay, love you loads. If you're a fellow Sansa fan, then please, talk in the comments. Like, tell me you're a big Sansa fan, because I love that everyone's becoming a Sansa fan now. You lot. We saw it from the start. We can feel like hipsters because we knew all along. And also, I hope if you're like a young woman watching this, then, or watching Game of Thrones, then you feel inspired by Sansa. Or if you're someone who's maybe been hurt or something like that. I find lots of stuff in Sansa's story to be inspirational. Tragic and awful, but yeah, helpful to young women, essentially. Okay, I love you loads. I'll see you really soon. Bye-bye.